We are all connected through shared experiences, and while our circumstances may vary, there is almost always a common thread in our stories. I am Amy Seaman, and these are the stories that connect us.
Oh, hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of A Common Thread podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Amy Seaman. Today, I have with me my better half, Sip and Bloom.
He's back!
Also known as David Kisan.
Oh my gosh. Classy claw in hand.
Yes.
Cheers.
Claws.
You know how I like to start all these things with a little cheers?
Yes. Cheers. It's right on brand. David orders White Claws wherever he goes, and he just requests that they're in different glasses, and then you give them different names. So, like, if it's in a wine glass, it's called the Classy.
This is a bougie.
Oh, this is a bougie, because it's
in that coupe.
A coupe. Oh, I didn't know that was the style of this glass.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we go to Smack Shack, you get the Diva.
The Diva is one of my best.
Which is in a hurricane glass with lots of crushed ice and an umbrella.
It needs as many garnishes as the bar can provide.
Yes, and it's still just
They literally are spending more money on the garnishes at that point than they are making on my $12 White Claw.
Yeah, but it's so funny going out with him because all the bartenders know him. He lives in the North Loop, so everybody knows you. You're like the mayor of the North Loop. And you walk around and order your drinks, and so funny. Good. I'm like, what are you having?
So good. I'm so excited for this today.
I know.
I feel like this is my the comeback tour after the first...
The comeback tour.
After our first get-together on this podcast.
Yeah, it's been a minute. You'll be a regular. You'll be a regular voice. Okay, one thing I want to ask you, because you're my truth-telling friend. As I was doing my intro, I've been thinking about this. I do the same intro on every podcast where I'm like, hi, friends. And then, I'm your host. Like, they don't know that. Is it good because it creates consistency, or is it getting annoying where they're like, okay, get to it, we've heard you, we know you?
No, absolutely not. Consistency is absolutely what people are looking for out of podcasts, and this is my not so humble opinion. I think that we want, at least at the introduction of any podcast, to feel that same feeling that we get every time we turn you on.
Okay.
Right? Because we are searching for that out of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I think, like, bigger picture is like, everything feels like it's spinning all the time. But when we have that one thing, that one podcast we turn on regularly, it just gives us a sense of, so I don't think change a thing. Don't change a thing.
Okay, good. I don't even know where Oh Hi Friends came from. It's just literally the first time I sat down to do this, I said that, and I was like, that just...
I think you've been doing that for your community, though, before I even met you.
Yeah, have I? Maybe.
When, just like on stories and stuff?
Yeah, I suppose you're right, on Instagram.
I think you do that.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's a great thing.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thanks for workshopping that out with me, the validation.
Speaking of workshopping, can we talk about my outfit?
Yes, we are going to talk about your outfit.
It's very inspired by you.
I love that. So he walked in right away and I was like, gasp. So obsessed. Okay, talk us through it.
Okay, so I've had this Mark Patrick. It's a very tailored shirt.
For those who are just listening, not watching, it is a white button-up with some great texture.
Yes. So it's a tuxedo shirt. Meaning that the buttons are separate. So they're kind of like... Cufflinks in the way that, like, you can add them to the shirt. But when it's dry cleaned, obviously they take them all out.
Yeah.
And when I was putting this on, I was actually thinking it was a different shirt. I have a lot of white shirts. And I buttoned the top button, and I realized, oh my gosh, there's no buttons. So, but then I was like, oh my gosh, this is an Amy thing. Because you've been drawing this out of me since I feel like, have been merging on fashion.
Yeah.
You've taught me, and this is my favorite thing ever, to wear things that can almost completely cover the body, but in a weird way, like, just like are kind of sexy. Like, I feel like I'm borderline Amish in how covered I am, but just by exposing like that little midsection energy, I feel like it totally like sexies up an outfit, and that is something that I totally learned from you and have been like channeling.
Love that. Yeah, so he's got the top button right at the collar, and then it's open, and then he has it tucked in right at the button of his jeans.
And it's also buttoned right underneath there.
Yes.
So there's a second button at the bottom.
So it's giving this like keyhole in the center.
Correct.
Where his...
Give me that Schiaparelli keyhole.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking when you walked in. I was like, this is giving like a Schiaparelli keyhole. Love it.
I've been saying that wrong.
You've got these huge wide leg pleated denim pants on, and we're going to get to the shoes. For sure. But also, what's funny is, so David and I now, we do a lot of back and forth of like, what are you wearing? What are you wearing? And we'll workshop it out together. Even though I'm a stylist, sometimes a lot of times actually, I want a second opinion, or I can get really indecisive because I like both. You know, like I would like it this way or I would like it that way. Or sometimes I just need someone to be like, turn it up or tone it down. So anyway, we go back and forth a lot with our outfits. And so much, since we've been spending so much time together over the years, our styles sometimes are merging, and we'll show up and we're like, oh, we're like the Bobsey twins, because we look like, So for example, today, I am wearing, this was the dress, it's a vintage blouse, it's got a ton of great texture. I wore this to Avant Garden party, I wore it as a dress. So today what I do, this is my favorite tip with blouses, to give them that sex appeal. I tuck the collar under. So it's a collared shirt.
Oh, it has a collar under there.
Yeah, so it's a collared shirt. So what I do is I just tuck it under.
Okay.
And then I get to where I want it to button, which is usually this really deep, deep V showing off my chest bone. No cleavage. So it's the chest bone forward. And then I just like button it and then tuck it in where I want.
That is
so it's so
good.
funny because it's like I have this open, I'm reimagining the way I'm wearing it, and you did the same thing with the opening there. And then of course we have our custom shoes on.
I know. So good.
Yes, I told David, I was like, where are the shoes? We're gonna talk about the shoes.
This is really artistically where we have triumphed as a partnership.
Yes, in the shoes.
Totally triumphed.
Yeah.
Unlike anything that's ever been seen before. We do runway. There's a lot of people who do runway. I think we do it very well. But there's a lot of people who do it very well. The shoes hits different.
Yes. And that has been consistent since our very first show, which was Picnic. Well, our first show together, Picnic. And that's when you made some floral shoes. I still have those clear boots that have a flower going right up the center, the white flowers going all the way up the center. And it creates this like illusion that the flowers are almost like taped to the leg, you know, because you don't see them with the final boot. But we made shoes for Picnic because
we did a full run.
Yeah, we are not. Maybe we talked about this last time. I don't know. We're going to repeat it, but we are not. When we do our runway, it's not like models bring your luggage of shoes. Now sometimes I do have them bring backups just in case.
Right.
But it's not like we're just going to use shoes out of their suitcase and make it work.
Right.
We buy shoes because the thing is it's hard to get a shoe partner for runway because they do get worn.
They get destroyed.
And no matter how many times I have taped the bottoms,
no, that doesn't work.
You can usually tell. So we either just buy and write it off as a business expense, or factor it into our budget, or we buy shoes. We go to like Goodwills and try to get shoes as cheap as we can. And then we make them. And this has become like our signature.
And you know, the Goodwill thing is funny too because some of the great designers that I've researched their creative process, the going to a Goodwill situation is something that really advances the creative spirit of fashion because there are some things in there at a Goodwill that you have to be asking yourself, where did these come from? And they totally take you to a different time period. They take you to a different, just things you cannot find at a store, at a, you know, your local Target.
Yeah.
It's just not, it's not possible. And so I love going and finding a really vintage shoe.
Yeah.
Something that's like, you're like, that, okay, we talk about this a lot, and it's kind of inspired by this one, but like that really long point.
Yeah.
You don't see that anymore.
No.
You know?
No. I love the
when
long,
you can find one of those, and then obviously we're retrofitting it to have our own
adding
personal
materials on top of
style
it.
and taste. Yep.
Yeah, we've just continued to add shoes to the collection. I think with Love from the Skyways, our only fall show we did, I think that was the one that we didn't design any shoes for because it was fall.
No.
But every other one. And
the only flowers I did for that show, that was actually a really, that's when I think our partnership sort of like found its like balance a little bit because that was a very you show.
Yeah.
Of all of our collections together, I think that one was like, okay, Amy's driving this one.
Yeah.
And it was so good. But the only thing that I did fashion-wise on that show was the pre-show looks. The headpieces. I built these really big floral crowns on Satish and Patricia.
Yeah. And they stood as models when you walked in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but there weren't any.
There was not flowers on the runway.
Flowers on the runway. Which I also love because We always like to keep people guessing. We don't want people to show up and go, it's another Sip and Bloom show. Here we go. We want them to go, it's another Sip and Bloom show. Therefore, we know we're going to get something unexpected.
Yeah.
We're going to get a high-level production. It's going to be fun. Like, that's what they think. But I always like to keep them guessing because our shows have been very different.
I'm not going to say anything about what we've been bantering about behind the scenes.
Yes.
But we have been bantering behind the scenes. And we came up with something very, very cool.
For the spring
this
of
spring
2026.
show. And what I am most excited for, actually, is how I want to tie in the flower element. For those who do not know, I don't know who knows me on here and who doesn't, but I'm a florist. So everything that the lens that I'm looking through in order to do anything artistic is how does the botanical play a role in everything else. And so what I have in my head for what will be our May 2026 runway production is so cool, and it's so different from not only what I have ever done before, but what I've even seen on the market.
Yes. Yeah, we were just going back and forth yesterday via text. And here's what I love is like we have so much trust in each other and respect for each other, but we can like your first, hey, here's what I'm thinking. I was like, I don't love it. And here's why. And you're very open to that. Like, there's no offense taken. You're like,
no.
And then
because honestly, I'm working through a bunch.
And you
too.
said, you're like, I'm just initial concept, throwing it out there. And I was like, I just don't
when
know
it
that
hits,
it's enough.
it all of a sudden hits. And then I'm so confident in it that we are moving forward with it. But when I was texting you, I was like, this is what I'm workshopping. But usually by now, I have it all locked in, and I just didn't. So you helped me a ton to get, I think we're almost there.
We still need to sit down and like refine because there's a
Totally.
couple different directions that it could take, and so we just need to figure out what it is that which way we're gonna go. But what I got excited about is it kind of is so. Otherworldly was very like Picnic was very a theme, right? Like every aspect, every touch point was picnic, right? From the VIP seating with picnic tables on the floor, from the picnic basket that Studios Moss created where they came out of, the picnic basket hat that Karen Morris had made, the almost like tablecloth gingham prints stuff that like Ramadan had made. So the silverware necklace that Playboy Marley made. So like it felt everything felt very, the picnic basket bags that we gave out, right? Like everything felt picnic. And then with Love from the Skyways was very corporate. And that told a story of they're going into the office wearing their fur coats, and then they're coming back out in what they're wearing to work, and then they came back out with what they're wearing from work to dinner, right? So that told a story. And then we did La Cabana after that, right? Which was very beachy, vacation, from the music. What'd you have? You had a steel drum. The guy doing a steel drum. There was this cabana that Studios Moss made that the models walked out of. We had the furniture partner,
Bella Sarah.
I can never remember his name.
Sajad is fabulous.
Sajad. And so that was the lounging area. So everything is always so. And then we went to Otherworldly, which was like this whole, like we took you to this post-apocalyptic warfare type environment. And then we did Oval Room. And Oval Room, I would say, is the least of the storytelling in all of it. And in terms of styling, it was the most minimalist.
But you know what Oval Room did for us that I think was very important as a personal artistic meditation? We tried for something that was way above the caliber that we had ever produced before. We aimed high. Everyone that is from Minnesota or knows this place well knows about the history and the
like
sort of grounding of Oval Room. That's a big deal. And you know, I don't even think I knew when we had decided that that's the direction we wanted to go. I just love to research things about this town and this place. And so I always knew Oval Room, Oval Room, Oval Room.
So Oval Room was the designer section in Dayton.
That's correct, yes.
And then it went on to Macy's before Macy's was gone here in Minneapolis.
And many department stores across the United States had something similar to an Oval Room. It's not exclusive to here, but it was the center of fashion at that time period, especially when Dayton's was at its peak. That is where refined women went for fashion. That is just the center of everything. And they also did really fabulous runway events. And so I used that just as a base point to learn more about this town. I'm not from here. I grew up in Pittsburgh. So everything that I do artistically, it comes back to I want to learn something so that I can bring something interesting to this market that isn't currently being done here, you know? And so I got to learn a ton. But I also kind of found it interesting when it was all said and done. When we did Picnic, for example, it's like, okay, well, it's a picnic. Like, we just made it our own, and everything was very accepted about it. Oval Room was a bit controversial, actually, because of its rich history, because of how so many people interpret their own time in the Oval Room, of which there were many people who spent, I mean, there was, for example, one woman that came to the event. She was a tailor in the Oval Room.
That's right.
And she had a whole Dayton's outfit on, and she was relishing in the heritage of it. But she also kind of let me know, she was like, well, this isn't exactly Oval Room. And so it was so interesting because it pushed us out of our boundaries. It pushed us out of our safe space.
I think where I struggled from a styling standpoint with this one is there wasn't like a clear theme, right? Like everything else had a theme. This was like more of a vibe where my interpretation of it was that feeling of getting dressed up and going to an expensive store, whether you go, I mean, so many people have memories of going with their mother or their grandmother, then they would go upstairs and have lunch after and whatever. And so we wanted to create this, getting back to this idea of getting dressed up to go shopping and make it an experience, and it should feel really luxury.
Which is so gone now. I was just in Nordstrom, and I was a Nordie, card-carrying shoe dog. But so much of what I remember about selling clothes and selling fashion was so rooted in the experience. And all of that's gone. Like, it's hard to just find a salesperson to ring you up. I'm like, wait, you don't want your 10%? Come on. Let's make this fun. And I do miss that a lot about retail. I miss that about fashion. It was an experience to get all dressed up on a Sunday and go to Nordstrom. You know, when I was young, that was my favorite thing to do.
And so that's what I was trying to channel. And then also showing like, okay, so then the runway is about what is current, what is the new,
and that's I think what was hard.
Because I think people were expecting vintage Oval Room pieces,
and we served them contemporary,
and we decided not to do that. We decided to go contemporary.
But you know what landed? The experience.
Oh, 100%. And the room was designed so beautifully.
The people that attended Oval Room without saying anything about what the actual production was, and I think the production was over the top fabulous. Our best work yet. It was the experience. We took them back to a time when fashion was the memories that you keep. You know? And so that's where we were successful, and that's what we'll take forward as we do new projects.
I just also have to realize that like not everyone's gonna love everything I do. And here's the thing, it's like people had an expectation.
Part of the fun of it.
Well, and people had an expectation, and this was the most minimalistic I went in styling. I tend to be a person with a lot of print on print and layers, but I really wanted to, I wanted the shoes to be the star of the show. So we started making, we went to S.R. Harris, found some fabric. I fell in love with that yellow fur, which started the whole thing.
So good.
And then we started making shoes, fur shoes, some leather shoes, those pink fabric shoes that looked like they were falling off. I mean, we just went crazy on the shoes. And then it was like, well, the shoes and fit. Like, that's the thing, too, that I think people sometimes, when you're, especially now, like, there's so much great fashion, which we're going to get into, that's just gone down the runways in Paris and Milan and whatnot. It really is silhouettes. Like, if you look at the fit of some shows are more piling on with all the accessories, and others are really simplistic, but it's a beautiful silhouette, and then one thing that's unexpected. And that's what I was going for, is this, like, let's make it fit the model to perfection. And we have...
Which is very hard.
Which is hard because we can't alter anything.
You're not allowed to touch any of those garments. So that was mostly Martin Patrick 3.
Yes, it is a trick of making sure the right model is wearing the right thing. I had to switch some people at times because it didn't quite work. Making sure that the sizing was exact. When did I want to size up a little bit to give a slouch? When did I want to size down? And then doing some tricky things to make it look as if it fit with some of the tucking in the back, like things people couldn't see, you know, some pinning. And then killer accessories. So I did have Milana Stille. I borrowed some of her jewels.
She's great.
She curates jewels. She travels all over the world and curates these amazing like vintage and gem pieces. And so it was like a big statement earring or a big statement ring, and then just a simplistic dress that fit. And when I say simplistic, I mean these dresses are like $1,000 dresses.
Oh yeah.
So,
and you know what's been so cool
and
to
then the
watch?
killer shoe.
What's been so cool to watch is that I'm seeing our clientele actually buying these pieces and wearing them in their regular life, and then I follow them on
It was
social
the
media.
most shoppable.
Oh yeah, and
of the ones that we've
a
done.
lot of those pieces I know sold out at the different retailers that we pulled from.
Yeah.
And now I have the incredible luxury of watching these fabulous women in these clothes at their they're going to weddings, they're going to parties, they're going to galas, they're at the Walker, and they're wearing these gowns. And I think that's the most gratifying thing.
Yes, for sure.
Is you're
and like
seeing
House of
it.
Kaylin, we had her, Catherine with House of Kaylin, she's a local couturist. She made 4 pieces, and hers felt more as a nod to the Oval Room, and that was the finale. And I mean, she sold 2 right there on the spot.
Did she?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Remember that sheer dress that came out that everybody loved with the little kind of had like a feathery thing on it? That sold. The jumpsuit.
Really?
So that's what we love
great.
too. If they're
The
contributing
artists
to the show.
are also
Yes,
selling a
like
ton.
they're selling. And so it's fun. But now we're seeing. So this is one thing that always just puts a smile on my face is when we come up with something or I do something with a styling piece, and then later we see it on the runway of these like big houses, fashion houses.
I wanted to get to that.
And I'm like, I had no way of looking. It's not like I stole inspiration from them because it hadn't come out yet.
I wanted to get to that, and I'll tell you why. And maybe this is just me being pompous, but I am seeing our work that was just a twinkle in our eye concept that we just like, we're like, and sometimes it's held together literally by like glue.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I'm seeing the concept in some of the bigger houses, and I have to ask myself, are they watching?
I know.
And I kind of think they are.
I mean, it gives me goosebumps sometimes. I'm like, no, like the first shoes now are everywhere. And I'm like, we did that in May.
Yeah.
And now you can go on and you can get a fur pump or even the first sandal that Zara is selling. You and I, when we work on shoes together, David is the one you are the one that puts it all together. And I sit there and I go, what if we do this or what if we do that? And then you do something. I'm like, that's it. And so we really work collaboratively on it. But the first sandal that we did where I was like, what if we put the fur on the bottom of the foot, and then it was just a simple strap across the toe and a simple strap across the ankle. And I'm like, then it looks like she's walking on this fur.
I love that.
Zara now sells that shoe.
I know.
And I hadn't seen that before. I was just like, as we were playing around, I'm like, what if we just stepped on it? What if it looked like she's walking on a cloud of fur? And so it's so wild when you start to see that then.
And all things are connected, right? Especially those who are creative. We're always searching for, at least I do this, I'm trying to get as close to the veil as I can. The veil, just like the spigot of creativity, like the center of it all, right? I actively work in all of my work, whether it's putting together a flower arrangement or putting an outfit together to wear here. I'm constantly looking to get as close to that veil as possible, and those in creative positions, those leading the fashion houses, we're all searching for that spigot.
Yeah.
And I think it weirdly brings us so close to one another, even though we can be in totally different parts of the world. But there are things that I'm seeing Jonathan Anderson do at Dior, and so many of the great creatives that I'm like, how are we so?
Yes.
How do we have so much in common?
Yeah.
And he's designing in Paris, and we're in Minneapolis.
Yes.
How?
Yes. I know. It is really validating to me as a stylist, because sometimes I think, did I do enough? Did I whatever? And then you see it and you're like, oh man, I was just spot on. Or it just kind of gives me this like weird feeling of
Validation.
Yeah,
for sure.
and being one step ahead in certain things.
For sure.
Like I'm like, I was. You know, even I had styled one of the looks for Overwhelm she was wearing. It was like a silk or satin set where it was like the pants and the matching top. And then it was a blouse. It was the blue blouse with the blue pants.
Okay,
and
I know where you're going with this.
there was a second blouse that was like a little bit different but went in the same collection. And I was like, I somehow want to show both blouses. And I was playing around with like layering them on top of each other or not. And then I was like, okay, what if I just tied her blouse, the other blouse, on the side? So I laid it on the side and I tied it instead of like over the shoulder, which we've been seeing a ton of, or just in the back like we used. So I was like, what if we did it on the side and it kind of looked like a scarf, whatever. The side tie scarf is now everywhere.
It's hitting
and
off.
Listen, I was like, I did that with the blouse to make it look that similar silhouette.
I see it everywhere. Well, that's the inspiration for this little thing over here, but obviously like a little bit.
I'm like, again, it's like just this like little like foreshadowing that keeps me going like, you got it, Aim, like you're on the right track.
Every December, I get to be part of something that reminds me what this season is truly about. The 12 Moms of Christmas. It's the most meaningful partnership of my entire year. Together with Apple Autos and other Twin City dealerships, we team up with Newgate Schools to donate 12 cars to 12 incredible single moms. These women are working or studying full-time, raising their kids, and doing it all without access to their own vehicle. My role is to rally our community, to gather gifts, donations, and services that bring not only joy on Christmas morning, but hope and stability for the year ahead. If you'd like to be part of this magic, you can Venmo at Amy-Seaman, that's AMY-SEEMAN, and add a Santa in the caption. You can also shop the Amazon wish list in the show notes or email Amy at amyseaman.com with your ideas on how to help. Together, we can make this the best Christmas yet for 12 very deserving families. I can snap a mirror selfie of my outfit of the day with full confidence, but the second you point a camera at me, I totally panic. Suddenly I'm questioning everything, like where do my hands go? What kind of face am I supposed to make? Am I attempting to look serious and sexy, or am I laughing off to the side at something hysterical that's not even there? It just feels uncomfortable. But Professional has completely changed the game for me when it comes to professional photos. Their photographers instantly make you feel comfortable, guiding you through poses so you never feel awkward. Plus, their playlists always set the perfect vibe the moment you walk in the door. You will be dancing your way through that photo shoot in no time. And if a little liquid confidence helps, Prosecco is served as part of the package. I'm just saying. You might know them on Instagram for their signature pink backdrop, but if bold colors aren't your thing, do not worry. They've got neutral options too. Professional was designed to make professional photos painless and accessible with quick turnaround times and sessions as short as 15 minutes. So if it's been 5 years or more since your last headshot, consider this your sign. Book now at professional.com. That's PROFESHIE.com. And don't forget to mention a common thread. In case you missed the episode with Allie Mann, founder of Moonlight Cannabis, let me reintroduce you to one of my favorite products on the market. Moonlight is functional cannabis, gummies and drinks designed for real effects like stress relief, energy, relaxation, giggles, or even better sleep. Their products do more than just get you high. So take their signature Half Moon gummy, for example. It's 5 milligrams of THC paired with 10 milligrams of CBD. That balance takes away the anxiety or paranoia and leaves you just feeling happy and relaxed instead. As a mom, I love having options that work for different moments. If I just need to take the edge off without anyone noticing, I'll grab a crescent moon. When I want a little boost and a happy vibe, the half moon is perfect. And if it's a night out with the gals, that's when I reach for a full moon. And for sleep, there's Goodnight Moon, which is a blend of THC, CBD, and CBN that helps me fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and actually wake up refreshed. No groggy hangovers. Moonlight was created by a woman for women. It's about balance, joy, and finding the right vibe every time. Go to moonlightmn.com and use code AMY15 for 15% off your first order and experience the magic of Moonlight for yourself.
Avant Garden, which you didn't go to this year. Avant Garden is at the Walker Art Center. People call it the Met Gala of Minneapolis. Maybe that's how you describe it. But every year there's a different theme, and some people really lean into like the costumey aspect of it, and some just put on a great fit. This year's theme was play.
Yes.
Which my initial thought of that was like, okay, I'm gonna do print on print. Go back to my like origin story days. That was what I was known for. It was like the queen of print mixing. And I just couldn't. I was like, you know what I get lately? It's because I don't plan ahead far enough, and then I get this panicky. You're on the other end of it, where I'm like, I have nothing to wear, I have no time to order anything, and also I don't like to spend a lot of money on a one-time event.
And I also feel like when I order something, okay, like I know that Walker Art, Fashionopolis, these things happen every single year, and I know I'm going to go to them, but I don't want to pick out something now.
Yep.
For next September.
Yeah.
You know? Like, so much will change by then.
Yeah.
And so much about my own personal aesthetic will change.
Yeah.
Fashion will change, a million miles a minute. So, I don't always think it's a bad thing to... I mean, my outfit...
adds a little more stress.
My outfit, for example, you saw me, like, I was working with, like...
For Fashionopolis?
For Fashionopolis. Because the theme this year was black and white.
Yeah.
And that's actually a very hard one for me because
we're going to break down our outfits.
I'm a color creature.
Yeah.
So the idea of having to just be limited to those two tones was really kind of stressing me out. And then I just wanted to, like, part of me wanted to just, like, break the box and just wear red. Very happy I didn't do that. Yeah. Very happy I didn't do that. I thought it was really nice to see all of the different fashion folks in town interpret that theme.
Yeah.
And I ended up wearing that vintage suit, and I bought it years ago.
It was so good.
At Golden Pearl.
Yeah.
And
it was black with just like little strips of like a shiny bead kind of, right? Like
it was beaded.
Yeah, it was really beautiful.
The next morning, those beads were all over my apartment.
Oh, and you ripped the lining of your pants.
Oh, I ripped my pants.
We did one of those video booth things where it like spins around and it follows you, and all of a sudden David goes down into like the split.
Like, why did I decide I was gonna do a split?
I was crying laughing.
And the thing is, that suit was probably 100 years old. Like, it is vintage. It is old. It was also the little button holding it all together was holding on by a thread.
Yeah.
And I decided, like, now I'm gonna proceed to do splits.
Yeah.
So and all of a sudden I hear that noise. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's the scariest noise. Well, you're in literally a gala style environment.
Yeah.
Everyone is dressed to a T.
Yeah.
Madeline's wearing Max Mara.
Yeah.
I'm like, geez. And all of a sudden you hear that noise and you're like, no.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
So I run to the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom at the Four Seasons.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no. And I'm trying to find a full length mirror, of which for some reason they didn't have one, at least not in the original place I was in the Four Seasons. And all of a sudden, Mackenzie's husband rolls in, and he's like, David. I'm like, hey. And I'm like, can you see how my pants ripped? And he's it was so funny.
That is so funny.
But luckily, you couldn't tell. It was just the lining.
We have that video with the memory of you going down and your glasses in the air and your feet are kicked up. It was so fabulous. That was so ridiculous. Funny. I was dying laughing.
It was fun.
I want to get back to our outfits for that, how we put it together, but avant-garde, and going back to that one, when I was going to do print on print, and then I was like, I put too much pressure on myself. I'm like, at the end of the day, nobody cares what I show up in. But I feel like as a stylist and having my own brand, people do want to see what I'm going to wear to these. I get a lot of like, oh, I can't wait to see what you come up with. So I put this pressure on myself. And then I get to this place of like, well, I don't want it to be what people would expect me to wear, you know? So I was like, print on print, but I was like, maybe that's expected. Anyway, I found the blouse that I'm wearing from May Baby Vintage. And I loved it.
Tracy's so good. She's got such a good eye.
She does. And I loved it. I love the texture. It was just long enough that I could wear it as a dress, but like super mini short, which was really hot. And then I did, I put a belt bag and carried a bag. So I like double bagged it.
Oh, this bag?
Yes.
Speaking of which, hold this for just a moment.
I double bagged it. What's inside your bag? Oh my God, yes.
Duh.
You brought that out at Fashionopolis and I cried. It's like
gosh.
A little
okay,
trap.
so I'm literally sitting next to Allie Kaplan, one of the most important people in this town. And I pull out my little handbag and proceed to pour White Claw.
Because there's never enough. The show is about 45 minutes. And you get one glass of champagne as you're walking in. And so David packed.
So I always pack a cooler.
It's so funny. And I was like using my program to like hide you as you were popping it off, like just to.
Well, cheers to that.
We
made it through another one.
Delinquents. Okay, so anyway, so I had the dress. Then I decided I was going to do this. I was going to double bag it. But I was like, it needs a good shoe. So the night before Avant Garden, you weren't going. I went to your house, brought some wine, went to S.R. Harris, got this cool leather that you had found earlier.
I'm obsessed with this.
It's
this material,
great, like snake print leather. Is it snake? Well, I don't even know what kind of animal.
It is designed to look like serpent, but it this is a very, very cool. So this is real leather.
Yeah.
And so it is a full hide that they then procure with a it's kind of like a plastic process, but you're taking the hide, you're stripping the hide, and then you're layering not only the pattern that you're applying, but then a top coat of this really shiny.
Yeah, that's what gives it that like glaze.
Almost acrylic. Yeah, and it's stunning.
It's so beautiful.
Stunning.
And I love that the print did play well off of the top.
Yes.
But how we came to this design is I brought this shoe just from my shoe closet of all the shoes that I keep after the shows, just a black pump, and you were laying the leather over it. And I was like, wait, I kind of love when the leather goes past the point of the shoe. And then you started pinching it up like this to just see where we needed to cut. And I was like, wait.
Keep it there.
Keep it there.
Yep.
And then make it really dramatic point.
And
it looks like it looks so futuristic. And then your idea for the back was genius. I think it just finished it off. Because we're like, is it too much? We're like, no, this is perfect. It finishes it off. These things look so big. The amount of people that stepped on my feet at the party. Oh, yeah. Because it goes way beyond. But then, here's what I loved. When people looked at me coming in, if they didn't see the shoe at first, like, oh, she's got like a cute, fuzzy little dress. And then all of a sudden, their eyes would go to the shoes, and they would go, oh my God, what are these shoes? People took more pictures of my shoes than they did of my face. Like, everybody was like, I need a picture, I need a video.
You have to charge for feet photos.
So, yeah, put that on OnlyFans.
Yeah, that should come at an extra fee.
Is that, yeah. What I loved about that, though, was, again, it was something really unexpected, but it was cartoonish, but yet it wasn't this costumey thing that, like, I mean, as an example, there was a woman that had like a wooden sailboat in her hair.
I saw that.
And then her skirt had lights on it. Like that you would see across the room wherever you were standing. This, you really had to look in all the details, and then it's like, oh my gosh, I see what you did here. So it came together beautifully. But without the shoes, it would have just been a cute dress. But the shoes were like...
It's so interesting. So I'm kind of going through a new phase where I'm wanting to learn how to use leather. And leather is tough. Leather is not an easy thing.
Well, it wouldn't glue. So we pinned it. Right. And then I went to... Shout out to Bob's Repair Shoes in Minnetonka.
But literally, that is the thing.
He stitched it for me. He stitched. I was like, I need stitching here, here, and here, and then it worked.
But
so
he's gonna be
our new. He
is. I might have to go study under him because I really want to learn leather.
Yeah.
Again, going back to just like who I am as an artist, everything is botanical. Everything is. Also, shout out to this centerpiece that we have going on. If you look closely, it's a pair of loafers. Everything that I do with you has to be fashion related, and so it's a pair of loafers. And do you want to know the origin of these loafers? They're one of my funniest shoes. They're so random. They're from the Vatican. It's a priest shoe. They sell them to the priests, and I saw them and I was like, wait, I want a priest shoe. So I bought these at the Vatican in Roma, and so yeah, now they're a centerpiece.
I also love like your just attention to detail. You make everything pretty. So you're like, we're gonna need a little centerpiece. We're gonna need our coupe glasses.
Life's short. Buy the flowers.
Yeah, exactly. So we did this shoe. Here's the thing too. We started with botanical shoes, and I think that's what people always expect. But we've been throwing them. We are like beyond just the floral shoe anymore, because then other people started doing floral shoes around here.
You know what what I just did, and this was a crazy thing. So Emma in Beck from Minnesota Monthly Magazine.
Yeah.
Her and a few creatives are coming together annually and doing a fall runway event.
Okay.
And this year, she reached out to me and said, would you do a floral dress? And so Taylor, who works for me, and I'm really taking extra care to make sure that Taylor is honing her craft. She's very talented. Of course it's like, obviously I need you to do your work, right? But like, it's also important to me that she's growing as an artist. And so one of the things that I charged her with this fall was, you're making the floral dress. And You're doing it in the lobby of the event during the cocktail hour in front of everyone. And it was a really great push for her. Because you got to see, again, her creative process.
Yes.
And
Which
she had to be on stage.
It was like at La Cabana, the finale, when you came out and you did the live corset styling of the flowers.
But it was a very good final product. And
it
anyway,
was.
So
I saw it. It was beautiful.
As this is all happening, they had presented us with the shoe that the model was wearing. And you know how fanatic I am about shoes. And all of a sudden I was like... And so... And I had none of my shoemaking supplies with me.
Yeah.
I'm like... At this point, I feel like MacGyver.
Yeah.
So I did this really, really old school approach to flower arranging. Like I remember like the great grandparents doing this one. It's when you want to cover something with moss, and it's usually a root structure. So it's like in an orchid, for example. So the orchid is growing in a potted plant, but in the case that you need to present that actual root structure, you cover it with moss. And then you take floral wire and you like wrap it in this. It's so old school. Like, and so anyway, I said, "Can I cover the shoes?"
Yeah.
And I got approval by the stylist, who was great. And anyway, so I like do this old school approach, and then I take the model's done. We put the shoes on her. We take her backstage, and everyone's like, "How?" And I'm like, honestly, don't even ask.
Yeah, but you're
like,
so good at that. You can just like figure it out.
But I also like, I really believe that it needs the whole thing. You have this beautiful top, and then you put on a basic shoe. I'm sorry, we lost the whole look.
Yes. Well, when you were showing me the picture when we had met with Taylor before, and you guys were sketching out, and we saw a picture of the model, and like the bottom she was going to wear the shoe, I was like, I can't with the shoe.
You need to take it further.
Yeah.
You need to go the whole way. If you're going to do this, if you're going to do this work, and this work is selfless and crazy, and the things you find yourself doing, it's wild, but if you're going to do it, you got to go the whole way.
Yeah.
You know how I am.
I know.
I'm 0 or 100.
And I'm right there with you. It's like if we're going to put our name on it, it has to be really refined from beginning to end. Because the shoe makes a difference. There are some shoes in some recent shows where I'm like, loved the outfit, hated the shoe with it. It's the wrong shoe with it, and it throws the whole thing off because it's it becomes a distraction.
Totally,
it takes away from the look. Shoes are so important.
So
then fast forward, we were going to Fashionopolis together, which was the black and white theme. And again, doing the same thing of like, what am I going to wear? I had just bought this white dress from 50th in France that at Fashion Avenue that had that really cool kind of Schiaparelli neckline.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, well, I just bought this. It's from a local store. I should wear it.
And it's gorgeous on you.
It is very pretty on me.
Yeah.
But when I first put it on, I was like, the week of the show, I was like, wait, it's suddenly giving bridal. I'm like, it needs to be cut short. Like it was just above my knee. And I'm like, it needs to be like a mini.
That reminds me of Schitt's Creek whenever Alexis is at the wedding and she's wearing a wedding dress.
White, yes, she's wearing the white wedding dress.
And we look like a bride and groom. yes. She walks down the aisle.
I was like, what do you mean? I love this dress. So I went rushing to Nordstrom to have it tailored, expedited tailoring, and I decided that I wanted it. The sleeves are really oversized, kind of like almost too long. But I said instead of shortening the sleeves, that I wanted the hemline to fit right where this land right where that tip of the sleeve was. And it's those little details that once you saw it, you're like, okay, actually.
Well, now we need to have a party where you wear that dress.
Yes, because I was so like, but I kept going back and forth of like,
it wasn't.
It's just a pretty dress, so it means.
It wasn't enough for Fashionopolis.
No, because I can't show up to a fashion event in just a pretty dress because I feel like I need to show something that says I am a stylist and I know how to put things together.
And you have an opinion.
Yes.
That's
and so
the other
we were
thing
trying to figure out
fashion.
like, okay, do we make a shoe for it? But then I'm like, well, I just made a shoe for this. So then does it become, here's Amy and her DIY shoes again. So I pivoted at the 11th hour and wore.
She has such a good outfit.
I wore this black.
Felt very Saint Laurent.
Yes, it did. Mini dress with this giant black bow attached to the dress. And then I had this white men's like tuxedo blazer. It was like white cream. It was cream with a black lapel.
The best was your use of that Chanel brooch.
And I got that jacket at Goodwill for like $10.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, that is your superpower at the moment.
I have far too many thrifted blazers, but I have an idea. I'm gonna do something with them. I think I'm gonna resell them, put my little spin on them. But anyway, then I did is I put the Chanel brooch at the very bottom of
that
the bow.
looks so cool. I love that
because it kept it from swinging, and also it was just like people would expect it to be up top, and to be down there. And then I did the knee-high sheer stockings and the heel, which I've been wanting to do. And then Paul Philippe at Sloan's did this amazing modern version of like old Hollywood, which pulled it all together.
Question for you. Speaking of Paul, I feel like I should go on a hair journey. Like, I have been doing this same haircut since I was in high school. I've been consistently, like, I go to, and it's been different people because I've lived in different cities, but always the exact same thing. And I kind of want to go to Paul and be like, let's go on a journey.
Yeah, he's so good
like,
at that.
could you, like, I don't know.
Well, then there's me, who's had a million different hairstyles.
But then I also just don't want to look like the traditional waspy blonde from Connecticut. You know what I mean? Like, it could so quickly go there.
I don't know. I'm going to look up some inspo. I like this idea for you.
I just don't know where to take it.
What is
and
it?
Also, it's going to be like a year-long, like...
You're going to go through the awkward grow-out phase.
So bad.
Yeah.
It's going to be so bad.
I think there's something there, for sure.
But then I'm going to need to go
Paul's
on a
really
color
good. He took
journey.
me super ginger this summer, like a bright ginger, which is what I wanted, and now I'm going back a little bit darker.
I like this current color that you're in.
Yeah, he did a good job. I still am...
He's also just one of my favorite people.
Oh, I love time with him.
Yeah.
I always leave just feeling
That's why I want to. That's why I want to go to him. Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't even
Just
know
to
that
sit
I
in his
need this
chair
hair
and chat.
journey.
Like, you just feel very,
I just
like-
need like 45 minutes in his chair.
Yeah. Yes.
Just
Very
speak to me
cathartic.
all the things.
Yeah. Yeah. He's such a great human. I know. I love going to him. So the outfit came together. We both showed up. So then I go to your house to get ready. You hadn't even known what you were wearing yet. Like 2 hours before the show, you had no idea. You're pulling out everything black. We bought the Bermuda shorts from Golden Pearl and a cowboy boot, but the boot wasn't quite high
And I've been
enough.
wearing those shorts a ton since then.
Okay.
So like that was a great
Yes,
purchase.
those were really cool.
But
then it came together. What I like though is what you did, similar to how you have it now. You had the jacket, but then you did a blouse, a black
The
blouse,
low
but
V.
you wore it all the way open,
Yep.
like a Harry Styles type thing, and then like a really cool belt.
yeah, that's what you've
The
been
belt
bringing out of
ended
me.
up, the belt ended up really working because
And I would have never put those two together. That's where you see things that I just can't see.
Yeah.
Because I follow like the old strict rules
Yes.
of like if there's a beaded black thing, you cannot add gold.
Yeah.
Like that's just like in my head.
Finally, I was like,
those
you were
can't.
coming out with belts. I'm like, these aren't working. I'm like, where's your belt bin? Let's go to your belt bin. I like went into your room, got your belt bin,
And you
I was
pulled
like,
out
this
the one that I would have never pulled.
and it looked so good.
Yeah.
Your outfit.
How do you feel about the Gucci Marmont coming back? Because I have that belt.
Oh, okay.
And I'm seeing it, like it's like a big thing right now. Like
Yes, it
it's
is.
the Marmont is back, and I'm like, but is it?
Yes. So I have one too. That was my first designer purchase. Was that belt, and I haven't brought it out in a couple of years because what happens to me is, well, one, it became overdone. And two,
basic.
And then the knockoff started.
Oh,
and then,
true.
you know what I mean? You can get a knockoff of that belt anywhere. So then it's like the,
And then
it's
all
like
of
the
a sudden,
Louis Vuitton Neverfull.
but then all of a sudden, yes, all of a sudden it was like, okay,
Devalues
like
it.
the rest of the outfit was like Lululemon, a pair of UGG boots, and like the Marmont, and then I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
I
But
don't
it sits in
know.
the closet. I haven't gotten rid of it.
No, I haven't gotten rid of it either because I knew it's like at some point it's going to come back.
And
But,
I saw some like article from the Cut or
sometimes it reminds me a
something.
little bit. I think it's similar to like my Chanel brooch of like sometimes are we just throwing it on to like have a branded logo.
Exactly, to have the.
So I try to be intentional about when I'm using it, but similar of just like sometimes you just throw it on to have a Gucci belt on. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
So
It
I think
legitimizes everything else around
I
it.
think I'm gonna bring it back, but I'm gonna get specific on how I'm styling it.
You know what could look kind of cool? Like wear it as a necklace.
Oh.
When I worked at Nordstrom, it's funny, Nordstrom keeps coming up today.
How would you
There
follow
was
it?
this woman that I used to work with. She was she sold collectors, and I was a shoot dog, but I loved her taste. She loved mine.
Yeah.
We were just like thick as thieves, like energy. And one day she comes in, and she always just like how we do, like just like takes things and like just wears it in a new way. And all of a sudden, I'm like jaw on the floor, like. So she comes in this day, and it was this at that time Michael Kors. This is before he sold out.
Yeah.
And he was still like a really big deal.
Yeah.
And the Michael Kors belt was this like very coveted thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. She had it in black, and she wrapped it around her neck, and she had like the belt
choker?
around the neck like a choker, and she looked so cool. She had a like blazer, white like shirt, popped
Some, like,
collar,
Beyonce stuff.
and yeah, kinda. And way before that was like
Yeah.
usual to see in such an elevated
Okay, wait, I
environment.
can picture this.
And it was Lydia was her name. She is to this day she's
Okay,
very
Lydia,
cool.
I see you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to bring that out.
Oh my gosh, we have to find Lydia. I think she lives in the South now. I think she's in Charlotte.
I love that idea. Okay. I like the reimagining of things. Like even so my husband Chris went to Avant Garde with me this year, which this stuff is
He looked so cute.
He did look cute. This is not a scene. But he's a good
But
sport.
when Chris shows up, and he's really fun at a party.
He is fun. He is super fun. So I put him in, because I'm like, what do guys wear for this? You know, and I'm like, he also needs to be something that he's comfortable in, because he's a very conservative dresser in general. Well, we had a couple things that he was trying, and he was just giggling, and I was like, okay, fine. Fair. So he put on my gray sheer blouse.
Yeah, that was the plan.
He went to button, and he's like, wait, the buttons are on the other side. I'm like, because it's a woman's blouse. And he's like, okay, so I'm just going to be like tits out for this party? I'm like, yep. He's like, okay, just making sure I understand the assignment. I'm like, yep. And then he put a gray suit with it. And then what I ended up doing is I took ties, 2 different ties, and I layered them. And I just draped it around the lapel almost like a scarf instead of tying it in the center. And then I put a little pin on that said, I am fun. Then I had a little pin that said, I am fun. That's
so cute. I didn't notice that. That's a detail you have to see in person. Yeah. Okay, but
I love to make the ties. I was
also,
like, I don't know,
that was a smart play, because at the end of the night, again, I didn't attend this year. The pictures came out later, and you saw all of the Minneapolis male socialites, like Mayor Fry, whatever, and all of them by the end of the night, their tie was hanging off the side, whatever, just you know, having fun. But Chris's was intentional from the start, and so it looked so cool. It's oh, he thought about this.
I'm like, I might even do that, because, you know, I'm in my blazer era. I might replicate that, too. I don't know, just something I love those things.
That would be really pretty at a wedding.
Yeah,
or
I just love that people are like,
wedding.
I would never have thought to put the tie on the outside.
I love that.
Because I started with a scarf, and it kept, sliding, and I was like, what if I just do this with the tie? And then I was like, maybe it needs 2 ties. I just kept going. Mm-hmm. I love moments like that, though.
What you landed on was very good. Chris was probably best dressed guy that I saw.
Oh, wow. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to pass that along to him.
I love that.
It's so fun, though. I love having you in my life specifically, but others, Madeline, Ella, my fashionable friends, where we can just feels like when I was in college and we're getting dressed together to go out.
Isn't that so fun?
It's so fun.
Okay, there's nothing better. I remember sitting on the floor in front of the mirror doing makeup. Mm-hmm. Still to this day, my closest friends, that is the memory I have of us hanging out. Yeah. It's not even the party we went to. Yeah. The party was just an excuse to sit on the floor and do our makeup together.
Yeah, it's so fun.
It's the best.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'm going to come over after I get my hair done. Can I come over and we'll just get ready together? My mom dropped me off. Shout out to my Uber.
5 stars.
5 stars. And then, so then with my look, which I felt so confident in afterward. I was like, this landed exactly how I wanted it to. It felt very top heavy.
And it was very black and white.
Very black and white.
A great, for that assignment, which was not my favorite assignment, such a good use of just all your skill set.
Yeah, thank you. I felt very confident in it.
Felt very Saint Laurent, Prada,
a couple days later, the YSL show came out.
I know.
And you texted me, several people. You were the first. Madeline sent it to me. A couple other people on the internet sent it to me. It was these giant white bows. Mm-hmm. Looked very similar to my black one. And top heavy. And then they had jackets over it. And then what they did is they had these big cross earrings. Really large cross earrings. And I died because back to Milana Stille, who we have the jewelry from. When I was going to just wear the white dress, I borrowed some earrings. Because I'm like, it needs something. Mm-hmm. And she had these giant gold crosses with an emerald stone clip on.
They're perfect.
They come all the way down to your shoulder. They're so sick. And I wanted those to work, but every time I would move, the one would hit the bow and it would get caught or it would pull off. So I was felt like maybe it's one thing too far. Sometimes it's that one thing that feels overstyled.
I come from the old school approach, whereas Coco Chanel would tell you to take one accessory off.
Yeah, so I was it feels like it's fighting it, and so I just took it off. Mm-hmm. But then when I saw YSL, I was like, well, first of all, again, I just brought that giant bow out, styled it very top heavy. And then I'm like, if I would have worn the cross earrings as well, I would have died. I would have been they're watching me. Mm. They saw my photo.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But it's so fun.
It's so fun.
What are you most excited about anything that you've seen on the runway right now? What inspires you the most?
I like what's happening over at Bottega Veneta. And
the fiberglass sweaters.
Mm-hmm.
That sick. Movement is so
I might
sick.
actually need that actual sweater. But I don't know how I feel
I'm
about
gonna
wearing
wear it.
fiberglass because I think that might give you cancer.
Do some research. I've been seeing some posts about the fabric specific, the material specifically. So I feel like there was something that's like, here's what it feels like, because you would think it would be really like kind of scratchy. I don't know.
I just have to make sure that that's the hill I want to die on.
Yeah.
It is cool. I mean, it
We'll
would be a
bury you
fucking
in it.
chic
Yeah,
hill.
we will buy.
Are you allowed to swear on here? I just
yes,
swore.
I do have explicit.
Okay.
We'll bury you in it.
Yeah. Will bury me in it. Yeah. What a way to go down.
Yeah.
Like just.
Oh, it's so good. There's so much good fashion. It's the only thing that's bringing me joy in my algorithms right now is all the fashion. Speaking of fashion, okay, one last plug before we wrap. So, what are we doing next? What's next? Everybody always asks okay, one thing I'm going to say before that.
Mm-hmm.
David and I are so intertwined at this point that people don't know where he starts and I begin. I went to 2 events last week without David, and a dozen plus people at each one was like, "Where's David? They just expect us
Same.
to like be together,"
Same.
which I love, and that is a huge compliment. But it's so funny. So anyway, also a lot of people are saying, "What's next for you two?" So what is next for us?
One thing that is definitely exciting that I have cooking is we want to do, so we do every year 2 shows.
Yep.
Right? Fashion Fight Night will come first in February.
Yeah.
And in May we'll do our annual runway event, which is our super luxury the night to be with David and Amy.
Yep.
But I have this really fun idea for Black Friday that all of you need to pay attention to.
Okay.
Because we're cooking up something cool.
Okay. Black Friday.
Black Friday.
Follow David at Sip and Bloom and me at Amy Seaman here, and we'll announce it.
It's
I
gonna
can't
be
wait.
yeah.
I think I know what
It's
you're
kind
talking
of juicy. It's we've never done it.
Yes,
We've
but
never
I
done
just
what I
come
have.
back.
What I have cooking. We've never done
Yeah.
before.
Okay.
And I honestly hate Black Friday. I just think of it as like it used to be so
Consumerism,
cool.
yeah.
It used to be so cool, and now
Yeah.
it's just like very panicked.
Yes.
And I want to reinvent a more luxurious way of celebrating Black Friday.
Ooh. Okay.
So cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Keep in touch.
All right. Thanks for coming on, looking fabulous, making our set look great. Thanks for the classy claw.
We got to keep it classy around
Yes.
here.
Okay. You'll see more of David on here. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. See you next week.